It was a name of Dilhan and his brother Malik that actually combined to make Dilmah the first producer of single origin tea. And pursuing his father's passion, Dilhan has taken that dream a step further. He's the director of the first international school of tea, the Dilmah School of Tea, in partnership with Institute Paul Bocuse. He has also taken tea to the new generation of tea drinkers with the launch of a gourmet genre or a tea series. He manages the humanitarian and environmental outcomes of Dilmah, including the MJF Charitable Foundation and Dilmah Conservation. And he also chairs the Biodiversity Sri Lanka platform, which underlines the fact that tea is now beyond a simple cup of tea. It goes much beyond that. Please welcome the director of Dilmah, Dilhan C. Fernando.
As we celebrate the richness of the heritage of our great Ceylon tea industry, Honorable Minister, distinguished guests, let us add to that glory the reality that for many in this room, Ceylon tea is also the foundation on which many of our and most global tea brands were built. However, as the Prime Minister said, in charting a course for the future of Ceylon tea, we need to take some important considerations into context. Most importantly for us is the profound lifestyle changes that are occurring in this century, and with that, the shifting attitudes amongst the traditional consumer, and with the shifting attitudes, the evolving nature of the opportunity for Ceylon tea, and in fact for tea in general, and of course for every other product category. So this anniversary of Ceylon tea, it occurs amidst unrelenting change. Although, of course, we must remember that the overriding constant remains the social and environmental context of our great industry. So taken together with this amazing heritage that we are celebrating, the millions of lives that are intertwined with the fortunes of our tea place an enormous responsibility on us. It is a responsibility to ensure that the evolution of the tea industry that the Prime Minister spoke of, that it builds on this glory, and it builds rather than sacrificing, as my father said, looking forward rather than looking backward. And I would like to share with you some of our ideas in how we might do that. That responsibility that I spoke of to build, it requires us to engage intelligently with a new generation of tea drinker. It is, of course, the 60 plus, but there is a completely new customer that we are working with, that we are catering to. We need to redefine the usage of this miracle herb that we talk of. We do this at Dilmah in collaboration with accomplished chefs, mixologists around the world. We try to reinterpret this amazing beverage for the 21st century. Reinterpret whilst understanding and honoring its great tradition and quality. Much of the change we see is driven by the millennial and centennial generations. They value experience. They value provenance. They value authenticity, wellness, simplicity, quality, and they demand a genuine commitment to ethics. There is no beverage that embodies these desires better than tea, and certainly no region that expresses that diversity, that purity, and the simplicity that underline those centennial and millennial preferences than Sri Lanka. And we believe in more genuine expression of that true personality of tea, that it is a priority. Our Camellia Epicurean, these are pictures from something that happened last week. It's a tea gastronomy event that is a partnership with some of the finest chefs in the world to express that same provenance, that same authenticity, wellness, quality, diversity, everything that a new generation is demanding, expressing it through deliciously tea-inspired experiences. The responsibility that we believe each of us shoulders also involves caring for nature, in preserving for future generations that source of the allure of Ceylon tea. Dilmah Conservation has tested, adapted, and spearheaded the use of biochar as a potent tool. Biochar is an ancient method, and we have adapted it and successfully tested and implemented it in the tea industry. It is a potent tool in building sustainability and the resilience that our tea estates require. Next month, with the inauguration of the Dilmah Conservation Center for Climate Change Research and Adaptation on Queensberry Estate, we will serve the industry collectively in a different but equally urgent area. Intrinsic also to this future of Ceylon tea is an educated consumer. And the lack of education, lack of knowledge of tea amongst consumers has driven destructive commoditization to an unacceptable extent. And in fact, it has corroded many once great tea brands, and that is certainly not in the interests of any of us, least of all those brands that have been compromised as a result. Sri Lanka is blessed with very specific agricultural, climatic, and human conditions. And these, as my father shared, defy commoditization. They point us in a more sustainable direction, and that of building on the heritage of quality, of variety, and of purity. Our teas are known for this, and for us to take the next step and move further away in developing that niche that is becoming fast less a niche and more a segment is clearly the future. At the Dilmah School of Tea, we have, in the course of 55 sessions around the world, trained over 4,000 culinary and hospitality professionals in the belief that knowledge will inspire passion for tea, and I can assure you that has been the case in each one of those people. Nature is the craftsperson for Ceylon tea, and it is the people whose lives are inextricably linked to tea which make it possible for the world to enjoy our beautiful produce. In fulfilling my father's commitment to making business a matter of human service, we honor those people by seeking to empower them with dignity. The work of the MJF Foundation touches the lives of workers on our plantations, their families, and the wider community across the breadth of Sri Lanka and beyond. This is the Empower Culinary and Hospitality School in our MJF Center West. It's a free culinary school, the only World Chef certified facility in Sri Lanka. A few months ago, the son of a tea picker from Rilhane Estate in Ratnapura benefited from the culinary training we offered him to secure a gold medal as the commis chef in the national selection of the Bocuse d'Or. The Bocuse d'Or is the world's most prestigious gastronomic competition. A good plan and hard work are not the sole ingredients of success in any sphere. Many perfectly planned and beautifully executed businesses that have failed to succeed confirm that. Success, as my father hinted at, is an outcome of God's grace and favor, and it is the duty of every successful business to pass on those blessings. That obligation is embodied in the philosophy that forms the heart of our family tea. And even in the present very unforgiving economic and commercial climate, it has earned the recognition for my father of the Committee of Nobel Laureates who honored him and his philosophy as an example for businesses in our time. The Oslo Business for Peace Award recognized the symbiotic role that every business must play in their community and in its natural environment. In January 2018, our MJF Center East will open. It will serve the differently able, less privileged youth, children, and budding entrepreneurs in eastern Sri Lanka. The 1 billion rupee facility is funded by earnings from the sale of Ceylon tea. As we seek to chart a course for the future of our family brand, our devotion to Ceylon tea is undimmed. Since the time my father first conceived the idea of Ceylon tea and conceived the idea of tea picked, perfected, and packed at source offered direct to tea drinkers around the world. Our commitment to the less privileged, to sustainability, to educating the next generation, not only in its appreciation of tea, but in its appreciation of the natural environment that tea so beautifully and elegantly expresses. They are all focused on ensuring that when the next 150 years have elapsed, our heirs will be able to invite an august group such as this and talk of their Ceylon tea industry with the same pride as we are able to. Whilst thanking you, ladies and gentlemen, for your patience, I would like to conclude with an invitation for you to visit our History of Ceylon Tea project online. We embarked on this initiative 16 years ago, and knowing that it is our history that defines us, and therefore we must preserve this to influence our future, this project is dedicated to the men and women who have formed the foundation of our great industry. It is truly an evolving testament to the individuals, many of you included, who have made our tea industry one of the great agricultural endeavors of our time. Thank you.
Crafting a legacy that is designed to pay homage to the people who've made this industry as great as it is today in this 150 years and beyond. Thank you very much to Dilhan, Fernando.